All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to do a 4-month update of the single symphony that I have running from Composer that's synced into Alpaca. So both Composer and Alpaca are fintech startups. Composer, I'm able to build the systems of trading and then institute that into Alpaca's API. Alpaca seems to be designed for a lot of quantitative, algorithmic trading. So you can see here, this is Composer right here open. And you can see now pretty much all of the percentages are updated. They were doing some back end stuff, I think, before, but it's all updated. And you can see here on the left where the cursor is, see it says testing, testing, testing. These are all the ones I've built out. It's only single symphony now. So I only am allowed basically to have one until it goes multi. And this is the one I chose. And the reason I chose this was as much for myself as for them, because I could have chosen any of the, 100 strategies or so. But I wanted to choose one that was daily so that it would really execute often so we could see any bugs that were present, as opposed to doing one that was quarterly. Let's say it would only execute 4 times a year. So this is the one I chose, and it's done quite well. You can see live trading. You can see versus other ones are testing. It's live trading. This is the annualized return. I guess that's calculated from the beginning of January on, if you were to annualize it all out. And then we see, let's see here. We have at the top, we have sharp, standard deviation, max drawdown. So we have sharp, standard deviation, max drawdown. And it uses risk parity, negative correlation. You guys can just do a little research on that. Probably the most well-known figure with the idea of risk parity might be Ray Dalio, and specifically his all-weather fund. One of the best books in personal finance that you can read is Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game. And he's known as more of a kind of a self-help guru or a energy guru and all these type of things. But in regards to personal finance, I think this is an excellent book, well worth your time. He really interviewed significant investing figures for it, Jack Bogle, Ray Dalio, and others. So definitely worth your time. But so let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. So you can see this is in Composer. Now we're going to switch over to Alpaca. And so you can see here, this is the year. You can see it was on, it looks like June 22nd, 21st, 22nd when it went live. Yeah, it looks like the 22nd was the first day that it went live. And so now we're at the end of August. So it's a little more than 4 months, but for the sake of argument, let's just say we're at 4 months. And you can see that the total account value now from the 2000 in is 2266.63. So let's just get a total return. It just changed slightly there. So let's do it the most recent 2267.05 divided by the 2000 minus 1. So that's a 13.35% return in those 4 months. So let's just do it as a monthly. Let's divide by 4 for a monthly return, and that's 3.3% times 12. So I'm getting a 40% annualized return, which is excellent. If you can compound capital at 40%, you're in the top 1% of investing. It's not to say that this particular strategy will compound capital over the long term at 40%, but thus far it's done so annualized. And so we'll see. And it's a daily trade. It's just use a little bit of leverage, UPRO, BND. And I'm going to scroll down here. You can see the total profit really comes from UPRO here. And basically what it does is at 3 o'clock every day, it just rebalances 50-50. So it's a pretty basic strategy. And then you can see here, like yesterday, you see it at 3 p.m. Yesterday, it bought a little BND, sold a little UPRO. The day before that, It bought a little UPRO, sold a little BND, $6. And usually on days that aren't volatile, there's minor rebalances like that. But on big down or up days, you'll see, we can scroll back. So you have $8, see, like on a day like this, 165 and 172, it was probably a very flat day. But you can see that here's a $12 day on October 19th and $14. Here we go. This is a better example. So on October 14th, which I would venture to say was a very volatile day, we could look that up historically, October 14th, 2021, it purchased, let's see here, 28, it bought $28.04 of BND, and it sold $28 of UPRO to balance it out 50-50. So, and the cool thing about this is, that's why I use the term systems of trading or black box when it comes to Composer. There's just no way in my personal life with my reading interests, my intellectual interests, with my, what Walter Pater would call the Greek life of the gymnasia, which means my 5-day jaunts to the gym. Sometimes I'm doing 2-a-days with cardio. My gardening with my Italian peppers and American heirloom tomatoes. And then just my personal life, that I would be able to come in at 3 o'clock and do this. Now, imagine if I even had 10, 15, 50, 100 strategies, trying to keep track of it on Post-it notes or on Excel spreadsheets. It would just be exceedingly messy and time consuming. I mean, I may be one of the few people that could do it because I don't have a day job. I don't go to a place at 9 to 5 and collect, a W-2 type of thing. So I'm very much in aspiring to be in Robert Kiyosaki's I quadrant. But for those of you who have a day job, that also would almost make it impossible, right? Because you're doing your job, you have a family. So Composer kind of solves all of these problems. And again, they're not multi-symphony yet. I'm waiting day by day here. Hopefully it's any day. I have as you guys know, I have about 200,000 allocated for Composer. And if I have about 100 symphonies, I'll probably just run $2,000 or so in each of the 100 strategies, which I think will give me an out of control good, sharp Sortino-Kalmar ratio. But we'll see. Again, time will tell on a lot of that. But so that's where it stands with Composer, Alpaca, and this particular strategy. Very, very happy with it. And so now, we're at the end of the month. Today is the last trading day of the month. And I was hoping for a little update because I'm actually flirting with 1.1 million. It just seems like yesterday I crossed the $1 million threshold, but flirting with that 1.1. I don't think I'll hit it now that today I'm down, down about 6,000. If we're the other way, if we were at 659, meaning if we started today at 654-ish and we were at 659, I might have been really close to that 1.1. But that's fine. That's not a huge deal. But the thing I wanted to show, and I have open here, is year to date. And this, I did that video, how I made $9,000 on a Royal Caribbean cruise, which, it's not like I did anything. It wasn't like I did some trade or, I gambled on the cruise or, whatever. It's the purpose of that video is just to show that when you accumulate wealth and you understand how to invest, that at a certain point, compound interest just takes over and capital appreciation takes over. You can see here, I'm going to pull it up, January 1st. Let's see, there it is, January 4th. So January 1st, we're almost 500,000 even, 500,079. And today we are at 655. So about 155,000 increase. And again, you could look at that and say, well, how much did you add? I've added. I dollar cost in certain periods. So that's why I do, in the Maneos compounding machine, I show you the CAGR, which is right now at 25%. But regardless, dollar cost averaging is part of my strategy. So that's something I plan to do and will always try to do based on my life of adding 500, 1,000, 2,000. I use option strategies, dividend reinvestment to enhance compounding. But compound interest is really at the heart of everything I do. And so you can see, and this is just TD. This doesn't include interactive brokers. You can see right now, I'll go to interactive brokers. And like I mentioned the other day, they just updated their back end, which was definitely needed. So I will stay with them for now, certainly. It's much more navigable. So 407 here. See, I don't know if this is up to date. It's not live like see on TD. It's like live as of the second. This might be from yesterday because we're up 4,100. So this is probably the close yesterday. They don't really have that open flashing, changing number like you see in Alpaca and TD, which is again a little strange, but it is what it is. It shows the net liquidation here at 406. It's showing it at 407 here. So around that even if we're down, let's say we're down 6,000 like in TD, so maybe we're at 400 even. So around that 400, 410, somewhere in there. So that just want to kind of showcase that and really just in a holding pattern, waiting for the multi, but very encouraging and exciting to see that, the 4-month results of my single Symphony. And just for a point of reference, the Symphony is what they call trading strategies, investing strategies in Composer. It's akin to the pies in M1 Finance or the motifs in motif investing, which no longer exists anymore. But that's the philosophy. It's not referencing my cruise ship, Symphony of the Seas. It's an investing pie, an investing motif, an investing strategy through Composer. So there it is, guys. Appreciate all the comments. Getting great comments from different people all over the world. Very, very much appreciate that. Continue to like and subscribe. I'm in that 1,600 to 1,700 range. Subscribers would be cool to crack the 2,000 subscribers. Maybe at some point before the end of the year. Time will tell. But so there it stands. Appreciate all the feedback again. Take care.